Alright, gamers, I have bad news. Bad news time. It's fucking horrible news, man. So my mom has been, she said, why is my computer so slow? I can't load my email. And I said, that sounds like a problem using a book. So she had installed some Chrome add-ons, and I told her there's probably some Chrome add-ons that are fucking up your computer, and that's why it's all slow. So, she's like, "Oh, I need my Chrome add-ons, so I can win sweepstakes and stuff." And I said, "That's a real problem because those add-ons probably use a shitload of resources to do things like data mine the fuck out of you and maybe even run crypto miners on your fucking computer. So, if you don't have a very good computer, which she does not, you're gonna have a bad time because they're gonna fucking use up like 100% of your CPU, which is what it was fucking doing." So she's like, "Why is my computer so slow? What do I do to fix it?" And I'm like, "Look, if you're gonna run crypto miners on your computer, you're gonna have to get a better computer that can mine crypto." That's really that's what we're doing here. Okay. So anyway, she doesn't want to go buy a new computer, but she did get herself a Chromebook for Christmas, and I told her, I said, these are Chrome add-ons. So no matter what device you have, unless it's like your phone, because the phone doesn't support add-ons at all, if you load Chrome on your computer, it's gonna have these fucking add-ons, and your other computers are gonna be slow. So that is the situation we find ourselves in now, where she did end up losing her Chromebook, and we don't know where it is right now. But once I find it, then yeah, it's gonna be fun because that thing only has like 4 gigs of RAM, and she can only run one browser tab at a time. And I said, you know why you can only run one browser tab at a time is because you're running like 20 fucking extensions. And if you're on 20 fucking extensions, you're gonna use up a shitload of resources, and you're gonna fucking out of memory. So it works on this computer because it's got like 12 gigs of RAM or some shit because we had to upgrade it. But this other computer, it's got like 4 gigs of RAM. Ain't gonna work. So that's the situation we find ourselves in today. Is she doesn't want to get rid of any of her add-ons, but she's got like some really sketchy add-ons. So if your mom's computer is really slow and she runs a web browser and does everything in a web browser, check that first because she probably downloaded something really sketchy. Because it's a lot harder to get somebody to download and go through the installation process of a virus than it is to just run an extension. And I don't think that Chrome really needs to regulate these extensions to make sure that they're not using a lot of memory, because that's usually why it's using a lot of memory. It's not like normal extensions are doing this, because they're usually done by really scammy shit. So unless you're like an enterprise user and your extension is using a shitload of resources for some reason, you should have to like manually install that by hand. And extensions that exceed your system resources or that just are plain sketchy, because that's the whole thing about um like the App Store, the iOS App Store versus the Google Play Store. And the Google Play Store gets a lot of bad rap because you can kind of publish whatever the fuck you want on the Google Play Store. And so you get a lot of really spammy notification type applications, where they use a lot of your device resources, they drain your battery, and they're basically like really shitty adware. So there's a better perception on Apple where they don't have this problem. But the problem is, since everybody's using Google Chrome, the one good thing is it makes everything platform agnostic. Now, the problem is that it makes everything platform agnostic because that means that any device that runs your browser, like I run Brave on my desktop and my phone, and if I were to run Firefox, same thing would happen. If I installed a bunch of weird Firefox add-ons and I set my browser to sync, it would install all those extensions on my other devices. So I do think that eventually we're just gonna have to regulate this because it is like it's obviously a huge security risk to run this kind of software on people's computers, and Google always says that there's security first, but as long as you allow something to run on your system, no matter if it tells you or not, like I didn't see anything sketchy on the webpage of this fucking It was like some Slick Deals fucking extension, and it said earn points daily, and then you can win rewards for, it's one of those old websites, the shit that got our email spammed in the first place. But, you have all these extensions now, and they don't tell you that they're running all this shit in the background. They don't have to tell you that. And I can't actually check which one is problematic because it just says it's running Google Chrome, and Google Chrome looks like it's using half your RAM and fucking 50% of your CPU at any given time with 100% otherwise, you know? So there needs to be some sort of better labeling for these processes. If they're going to be isolated, they need to at least show you which process is doing what? I'm sure there's a way to do that in Chrome and the dev tools or something, but I don't know what that is. And I don't think the average person's going to know what that is. So I don't know. It's kind of a shitty situation to be in where you're just like running crypto miners on your computer. I don't even know if they're crypto miners. It could just be some other huge resource hog. I have no clue. But like I said, it's proprietary, so you don't really know what the fuck it's doing. So that's kind of the new age of viruses. Is everything just kind of runs in your browser now, and that's where they get you. So that's cool. All right, thanks. Bye.